Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Olajide Bello. Many thanks for joining us, and you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.gov.ng or on any of our social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Our President Muhammadu Buhari has written to Senate seeking the reimbursement of 6.6 billion naira to Plateau and 3.8 billion to Borno State for the government road projects executed by these states. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the President also sought Senate's consideration of the Nigerian Data Protection Bill and the Nigerian Police Force College and Training Schools Establishment Bills.
67 days to the end of the Ninth Assembly. The legislators are putting finishing touches to pending issues, but also paying considerable attention to new ones. Plenary took off with 4 executive communications, which include reimbursement of funds to Plateau and Borno states.
That the approval by FEC was subsequent to the recommendation of an interministerial committee. The committee reviewed the documents submitted and carried out physical inspections and verification of the projects in the respective states before making its recommendation to FEC.
The President also sought the confirmation of Abdul Abubakar for reappointment as non-executive director of the Central Bank of Nigeria for a second and final term. Senate rescinded its decision on the 2016-2018 federal government external borrowing plan and changed the financier from China Exim Bank to China Development Bank and approved the conditions provided in the harmonized term sheet.
Communication from the Federal Ministry of Finance requesting approval of the modifications to the financing proposal for the Nigerian Railway Modernization Project, that is Kaduna to Kano segment.
The issue is that was any disbursement made out of the $22.7 million? We need to know.
It approved the conference report on the Nigeria Peace Corps bill and the report of its Committee on Power, which carried out investigative hearing on the ongoing bid to concession the 700 megawatt Zungeru hydroelectric power plant, which recommended the suspension of the bid process till after the completion of the project.
The BP be advised to keep to the commitment made before the committee to concession the power plant only after it has been completed, tested and commissioned.
The Broadcasting Practitioners Establishment Bill passed first reading. Senate urged the federal government to take over and ensure the burial of former President of the Senate, Joseph Wayas, who died in November 2021, as soon as possible and to immortalize him. It also paid tribute to the wife of the Chief Whip of the Senate, Ifeoma Kalu, who died over the weekend. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has passed a resolution condemning in strong terms the call for an interim government in Nigeria, referring to the March 29, 2023 warning issued by the State Security Service alleging that some individuals are plotting to install an interim government. The lawmakers described the plot as undemocratic, unconstitutional and unknown to the laws in Nigeria. In adopting the motion raised by Representatives Oyeme Idem, House members advised those aggrieved by election outcomes to seek redress through rule of law and desist from overheating the polity. The House also urged security agencies to remain on alert to forestall any breakdown of law and order. And away from the legislature, the NNPC Limited says it read with utmost dismay a report by an online platform, Sahara Reporters, alleging it paid the sum of 20 billion naira to ghost consultants, also alleging theft of multi-billion naira tax due to the Ogun State government. The NNPC Limited wishes to state that as a responsible corporate organization, it does not have any deal with ghost consultants. A statement by Garbadin Muhammad, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, says at NNPC Limited, the process of engaging consultants whenever the need arises is clear and verifiable and follow global best practices. It is therefore unfortunate that, for whatever reason, the said online platform would make such a grievous allegation without thinking of the consequences of such actions. NNPC Limited states categorically that the claim of a missing 20 billion is absolutely false and baseless. The NNPC Limited therefore demands that Sahara reporters retract the said publication immediately, and going forward the platform should verify its facts before going to the press. The second component of the said unfortunate report is related to Ogun State government claiming a back duty tax liability of about 18 billion against an NNPC subsidiary, the Petroleum Product Marketing Company PPMC Limited. For clarity, PPMC has objected and challenged the claim through its tax consultant. Consequently, the Ogun State government took the matter to court, which is not unusual in business cycles. The matter is currently before the court, and NNPC Limited will prove its case accordingly for a matter that is already in court as admitted by the online publication. It is sad that any medium can arrive at such false conclusions as shown by the action of the online medium. About 10 students of Government Day Secondary School Awan and Kachia local government area of Kaduna State have been kidnapped. The State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, in a press statement says the state government has received the report of the kidnapping from security agencies. The statement adds that the government is making frantic efforts with the support of security personnel to rescue the victims immediately. It adds that a detailed report is being awaited for more clarification on whether the incident occurred within the school premises or elsewhere. The troops of Operation Wild Punch, in conjunction with the First Headquarters Special Forces, on 1st April 2023 conducted clearance operations in terrorist enclaves at Baguma, Rema, Balugay, Dagara, Sabanlai, Gagumi, Katakaki and Randagi villages in Brenin Gwari local government area of Kaduna State. A statement by the Director of Defense Media Information, Major General Musa Damadami, says troops engaged the terrorists at Kakangi, eliminated 11 and recovered several arms. The defense headquarters enjoined the public to support security agencies with timely intelligence reports to facilitate proactive operations. The Defense Headquarters has reacted to video clips of some United Nations peacekeeping fighting vehicles and equipment sighted recently in Benin, Plateau State. A statement by the Acting Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tuku says the operational vehicles were on transit to Warri Port for movement to peacekeeping mission area in southern Sudan, alongside the nation's troops who were just inducted into UNESFOR mission last month. The Defense Headquarters assures Nigerians that the nation is not under any threat that will warrant the deployment of United Nations troops in the country. And away from security matters, as people in Cross River State await transition of government to another come May 29, the governor-elect, Senator Basi Atu, has again reassured that he will galvanize all human and natural resources abound in the state for a robust socio-economic development of the state. The governor-elect was speaking at a post-certificate of return reception at the UJ Hussein Stadium, Calabar. Maureen Liu Ajom reports.
The celebration, which acknowledges the support of the women, youth, traditional rulers, the elders in Cross River State in ensuring that justice, equity and fairness prevail, had the governor-elect Prince Basi Atu assured the people of expected and desired transformation in Cross River State.
I want to thank God and thank Cross Riverians, both indigenous, non-indigenous, for making this day, because our manifesto is right out there in terms of what we deliver.
So we thank this governor, who I believe that God Almighty will protect and be with him for the rest of his life.
The exciting moment climaxed with the parade and display of the rich cultural heritage of Cross River State. It was a fun moment to behold as the party continued ceaselessly. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
Governor Simon Lalong says his administration is fully ready to give account of its stewardship to the people of Plateau State who entrusted them with their mandate. The governor set up this in Jos while inaugurating a 13-month central planning committee for the handing over and swearing in of Plateau State Governor-elect Priscilla Gurumnan reports.
The 13-man Central Planning Committee is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring smooth and hitch-free transition from the present administration to the incoming government, which takes effect from May 29, 2023. Governor Simon Lalong, while inaugurating the committee, says members were selected based on their wealth of experience, capacity, and record of achievements over the years, as he charges them to work in synergy and not to allow personal or political sentiments to becloud their sense of judgment. With the elections over, Governor Lalong appeals to citizens not to overheat the polity with unsubstantiated speculations, saying his administration is ready to put all records straight.
I use this opportunity to reiterate that our administration is fully ready to give account of its stewardship to the people of Plateau State, who entrusted us with their mandate. Already, all the MDS under the leadership of the Secretary of Government of the state are putting together their reports, which will be part of the handing over notes to be transmitted to the incoming administration.
It is part of the fact that this activity is very sensitive, very tedious, but Your Excellency will live up to expectation, not to disappoint you in this regard.
Members of the incoming administration are expected to join the transition committee. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
The President-elect Bola Tinubu has felicitated with former Governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, on his attainment of 71. Oshiomhole, who was at different times President of the Nigerian Labour Congress and National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, also served as Deputy Director General of the Tinubu-Shetima Presidential Campaign Council in the run-up to the Tinubu election as President. The President-elect noted the contributions of Comrade Oshiomhole to the welfare and security of workers in the country and to national development as a Labour leader, and how he deepened democracy and good governance in Edo State, where he served as governor for 8 years. He commended Oshiomhole for demonstrating courage and greater commitment in all his previous leadership positions. In a statement by Tunde Rahman, President-elect Tinubu joins family, friends and associates and admirers of Comrade Oshiomhole in wishing him a blessed birthday and many more years in good health and robust energy so he can continue to render useful service to our country and humanity. And Adiola is in our Lagos Network studio with more reports on Nationwide. Hi, Adiola.
Hello, Olajide. Although the Lagos State Police Command has vowed to curb cultism and eliminate violence induced by cultist groups, but the public is calling for increased accessibility and visibility within the metropolis. Michael Olaleye in this report sought the views of residents on policing in Lagos.
Policing a metropolitan city like Lagos could be tricky due to the huge population and dynamics of crime. For all the years John Gaspar has spent in the city, he has no understanding of traffic robbery until he helplessly watched in daylight how a student was harassed a few months ago.
I was on the bus and we came across a guy trying to rob another, maybe a school student. And we were unable to do anything because he was holding a gun. So those are the things that we need to also look at.
The police in Lagos is aware of this trend. In fact, in its post-election analysis, the force identified cultism as the major bane to public security.
A component where we need the support of NTA and the citizens, that is to address the social factors that do underlie the challenge of cultism. When these operations become strengthened, the citizens should see the initiative as another attempt to protect them. So they should cooperate with the police in the public space.
Most of those I interacted with could not specifically pinpoint areas of security needs that required attention, apart from traffic robbery. They, however, scored the police high with expectations that there is room for improvement, especially in the area of increasing visibility.
Your response to crime in some certain areas where it's probably hot. Of course, you see them, God knows when the whole situation probably is has escalated to the end.
In that area, they need to reorientate them to see themselves as real friends of the people.
The police said the knowledge and expertise garnered during the last general elections will be utilized to increase and guarantee safety of lives and property. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
And from security, we'll move to health. Cervical cancer is preventable, but still claims lives daily. According to the World Health Organization, 33 new cases and 22 deaths are recorded daily globally. The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research is collaborating with partners to create more awareness on vaccinating girls against human papillomavirus HPV and routine screening for women for early detection. Hingino John Adams will tell us more.
2 years ago, my sister-in-law, Angie, died from cervical cancer in Nigeria. She never screened. You know, she's like one of 28 women that will die before the end of today from something we could actually prevent. If only there was screening, if only there was vaccination, Angie will be alive with us today.
A sad experience there for Juliet Iwelumo Ezepwe, a professor of global health. Research by the World Health Organization reveals that 1 woman dies every 2 minutes from the disease. Key players in the Nigerian health sector are worried by the figures, and this ideation session, titled For Girls and Women, is aimed at coming up with robust cervical cancer prevention strategy as part of their contribution towards ending the disease by 2030.
If you vaccinate women and young girls 9 to 15 years of age, and you screen women above 30 years of age, you will ensure you will eradicate cervical cancer.
Government is already taking steps to initiate that, included in the national program on immunization, to ensure that the vaccine is provided like every other vaccine in the country. And we're sure that by the year 2023, that means before the year ends, it will be rolled out on the NPI program. So hopefully every Nigerian girl will have access to HPV vaccination.
It is expected that with programs like this, Nigeria will meet the target of ending cervical cancer by 2030. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos for now, but do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. The news button leaves Lagos now to Sokoto, where Nana Aisha is standing by for stories making the rounds in that zone after this break. To stay on.
Everyone, and Ramadan Kareem, and welcome to Sokoto. Sokoto State Police Command has warned members of the public to desist from criminal activities under the guise of celebrating election victory. Commissioner of Police Mohammed Husseini Gumel gave the warning during a press briefing held at the command headquarters in the state. Dalhatu Abdullahi has more.
Addressing newsmen, State Commissioner of Police Mohammed Husseini Gumel said the briefing became necessary due to the current security situation in the state, where some people are inciting public disturbance under the guise of celebrating election victory. CP Gumel said the command, in conjunction with other security agencies, will sustain vigilance and is taking action on some disgruntled elements who are taking advantage of the recent election victory to disrupt the peace in the state. He further said Police Command has received several complaints in respect of that, warning those engaging in crime, threats, directly or indirectly, including grievous harm, criminal intimidation, extortion, looting, mischief, to cause breakdown of law and order to desist.
Residents of this state on this note are assured of enjoying a safe and secure life after the general election, as the police command has put in place necessary measures to checkmate those elements and is fully determined to keep arresting all troublemakers.
The police command assured law-abiding people of the state of its preparedness to provide the best of security for the forthcoming supplementary elections in the state. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Property worth millions of naira have been destroyed by suspected hoodlums who allegedly hijacked the celebration of the Zamfara State PDP governorship candidate's victory. The Technology Incubation Center of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, located in the state capital, Gusau, is one of the places worst hit by the unfortunate incidents. Jamilu Ibrahim tells us more.
The Technology Incubation Center, located at Gidandawa area, Gusau, Zamfara State, was established in 1999 to facilitate the growth of small entrepreneurs using technology for commercialization and to grow the country's industries. The center was on Tuesday this week attacked by suspected hoodlums who hid under the guise of celebrating the victory of the PDP gubernatorial candidate in Zamfara State. The hoodlums wantonly destroyed equipment and property of the center, as well as scattered away many others, including doors, windows, and the air conditioners. A member of the National Board for Technology Incubation, Muhammad Jazuli Musa, who took the newsmen round the vandalized center, described the incident as a monumental loss to the federal government and some other stakeholders' huge investment in the sector over the years.
From 1999, so whatever government has invested in these 23 years, which is over 1 billion, has been cutted away.
Jazuli said they have formally intimated the security agencies and other relevant authorities on the said event for appropriate action. He said though no life was lost to the incident, it will take so long for the center to bounce back to its normal position.
And not only for the government alone, the entrepreneurs who came to invest here, some of them got loans from the bank. They were taken, their properties were taken away. Their machines, their everything, you know.
The hoodlums perpetrated similar heinous act on some other public and private property, especially in the state capital, Gusau. Though the situation has been brought under control by the security agencies, effort to get the reaction of the State Police Command on the matter was unsuccessful. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Well, that's our contribution here in Sokoto. Hope you enjoy. Nationwide continues with Oladiji in Abuja.
Many thanks, Nana Aisha. And moving on, National Lottery Regulatory Commission has formally launched the National Premium Identity Verification Platform to stem the tides of sharp practices in the country's gaming industry. Abubakar Akwanga reports that this was during the Commission's stakeholders' engagement and Know Your Customer and verification issues.
The nation's game industry has come under several forms of attacks by fraudsters, with unsuspecting members of the public as victims. To nip the growing challenge in the bud, the National Lottery Regulatory Commission has launched the National Premium Identity and Verification Platform.
To mitigate and curb fraud, incidences, money laundering, and KYC challenges, and to ensure the accuracy of data provided by players, we at the National Lottery Regulatory Commission have developed the National Premium Identity Verification Platform, which we will introduce to you.
The Commission is leveraging on these and other initiatives to protect customers' assets and build confidence, especially with the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Commission and anti-graft agencies.
We implore you, our operators, to collaborate with us to promote, secure, sanitize our Nigerian gaming industry, while also addressing challenges faced by the gaming operators, the players in the Nigerian gaming market, and the public in general.
Stakeholders underscored the role of the Commission in gaming industry, which is being implemented in line with relevant acts that empower it to entrench sanity in the industry. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council recently ranked Gombe State the best in ease of doing business for the second time in 2 years. In this report, correspondent Abbasme Kanu finds out the magic behind this milestone achievement.
A typical business day in Gombe. The Gombe main market in a beehive of business transactions enabled by favorable business atmosphere.
Gombe
can compete favorably with other states in terms of business and industrial development.
We thank God for the business here, for the business in Gombe here is moving.
When we say we are the best in the ease of doing business, we expect that more businesses will come into Gombe. More businesses means more income to the people, means an improved GDP for the state, means improved spending capacity of our people. And it means that there will be more jobs for our people.
The ranking of Gombe State as #1 for the second time by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council is predicated on some business promotion indices provided by the state government.
The government has provided the incentives, the infrastructure, the space, the opportunity. And of course, with the ranking, it means that we will expect influx of businesses into Gombe. So what the people of Gombe should do is to be able to accommodate people who are coming in to invest.
The path to industrialization is clear for Gombe State with convening of the 2022 Gombe Investment Summit, support to micro, small and medium-scale businesses under the Go Cares initiative with over 8 billion naira set aside by Gombe State government to support the MSMEs. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Towards guaranteeing a smooth and hitch-free transition process, the Benue State Governor-elect Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia has been invited to join the Benue State Transition Committee to ensure a seamless transition process. The chairman of the committee and secretary to the state government, Tony Joho, led the government delegation that interfaced with the governor-elect in his residence in Makadi. Moses Ode reports.
It was an emergency meeting of the State Executive Council chaired by Governor Samuel Otom, who stated that there was just one agenda for deliberation. Domestic debt relief enjoyed by the state government from the federal government was the issue in point, as explained by the Commissioner for Finance and Economic Planning, David Olofu.
On assumption of office in 2015, this administration, between 2015 and now, assessed federal government intervention came to about 84 billion as of today. The Governors Forum came together and decided that since the states are owing federal government based on intervention that the state governments participated in, then they should come together and have an agreement for reconciliation, for refund, and for debt swap. That has been done. And we are now at the point of debt swap. And Benue State government, along with other state governments, is participating in achieving this.
The commissioner, however, maintained that this clearance does not suffice for the overall domestic debt of the state. He further stated that the initiative is aimed at making governance easy for the incoming administration and to place the state on the pedestal of creditworthiness. In Makudi, Charles Abba.
President Muhammadu Buhari and His Majesty King Abdullah bin Al-Hussein of Jordan has held a telephone conversation with both leaders expressing satisfaction on the deepening of Nigeria-Jordan strategic partnership in matters of security and other global issues. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President's Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, notes that the Jordanian leader wishes President Buhari successful Ramadan, appreciating President Buhari for naming the auditorium in the newly commissioned National Counter-Terrorism Center in Abuja after him. Nigeria under President Buhari has shared experiences with Jordan in tackling terrorism and its spread across West Africa, with support in preemptive measure to neutralize activities of insurgents in the sub-region from the Middle Eastern Kingdom. King Abdullah indicates his wish to visit Nigeria before President Buhari leaves office. The time now to join Enugu Network Center for trending stories from there. Over now to you, Chinaya. Chinaya, take it over from here.
you so much, Olajide. Welcome to Enugu. Onitsha, one of the commercial nerve centers in Anambra State with low aesthetic value, is receiving the state government's attention to wear a new look with the flag off of the Sustainable Clean and Green Anambra State project. Ndem Carlo reports that the governor was in Onitsha to kickstart Operation Desilt the Drainages as part of measures to keep the state clean.
The move by the state government to desilt the drainages is one of the electioneering promises of the present administration at ensuring that every part of the state is green and healthy. After inspecting the deplorable state of the drainage channels at the popular Ochanja Market and its environs in Onitsha, the governor frowned at the blockage of the channels by traders. He noted that any obstruction on the channels will be demolished and anyone found dumping refuse in the drainage will be prosecuted. He warned the market leaders to desist from illegal collection of revenue on behalf of government. The governor, who emphasized that cleanliness is next to godliness, gave assurance that government will do its part in keeping the areas clean, as well as construct quality roads in the areas, urging the people to contribute their quota in keeping the state clean.
Anambra Igbo sadete abraife juwe mala Anambra. Age Ochia West. Dotini na ne okuno.
It is the expectation of the people that with the channeling of the drainages to River Niger, Ochanja Market and its environs will regain their former glory. From Onitsha, Ndem Carlo, NTA News.
Planning and budgeting with the right data will facilitate national development driven by facts and figures. This was the consensus of key players during the inauguration of Ebonyi State Census Publicity Committee for the 2023 Population and Housing Census in Abakaliki. Caleb Ubunna reports.
Committee for 2023 Population and Housing Census, Commissioner for Information and others echoed the imperativeness of the headcount, which is for good sustainability in the country.
Our people, for them to know that this exercise is nothing but for their good and for the economic prosperity of the state. Let's get to the grassroots. Let's speak the language of people here. Ebonyi people are people of honor and integrity. The moment they are meant to understand the very essence of this assignment, they will really kill.
And we have to advertise it and bring it to the doors of everybody to know how important it is.
On our own, as members of the fourth estate of the realm, I want to assure the National Population Commission that we are going to use the staples of our government's medium of information to sensitize Nigerians on the need to give the exercise the seriousness it deserves.
Having doused the fears of any possible defect during the exercise as raised by participants, the National Population Commission assured of its preparedness to deliver on the mandate.
The National Population Commission is irrevocably committed to ensuring that everything about the 2023 census is done right and professional. We have a clear vision, commitment, and capacity to deliver on this historic mandate.
The Census Publicity Committee is charged with the responsibility of galvanizing citizens towards full participation in the 2023 headcount, billed for April and May. In Abakaliki, Caleb Ubunna, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and on all our social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. We'll take another break here. Nationwide will continue with my colleague in Maiduguri thereafter. Do stay.
As part of post-insurgency recovery efforts, Alamin Foundation for Peace and Development and stakeholders in the Northeast jointly implemented more than 30 peace-building, globally accepted transitional justice, homegrown reconciliation programs This came up at the end of project dissemination of learning and good practices to strengthen community-level peace and security dialogue, in addition to other striving for sustainable, harmonious coexistence in the region scarred by conflicts. Zainab Adams reports.
I Survived is a book reflecting the grievances and ordeals of conflict-affected girls and women in northeast Nigeria who are mostly invisible in the society. Executive Director Al-Lamin Foundation, Hamsatu Al-Lamin, said that this type of challenges did not start with Borno State, adding that responsibility is vested on everyone for a meaningful life as children emulate what they see around them.
Our own, in spite of the fact that they are not educated, I said no, we must collect them together, create a social network for them, enlighten them on their basic region, then enlighten them on the wider horizon of the world to understand that they are not the first, and then it will not end with them, and others have picked up the pieces, so therefore they also can do it even better.
Stakeholders deliberated on the Stakeholders Perception Survey coordinated in Bama, MMC, Dikwa and Goza to step up active engagement between ex-combatants and community members, as well as early warning and early response mechanisms.
Whenever projects transit into communities and they continue to leverage on the achievement of the project, it is actually the beginning of it until the overall goal of that project is achieved.
I and my group, we intend to continue to enlighten our people on how to live peacefully.
This project, titled Mobilizing Borno Stakeholders to Develop Transitional Justice and Reconciliation Policy Recommendations, Northeast Nigeria, with support from UK Aid for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, although now ended, implemented more than 30 peace-building and transitional justice and reconciliation programs within 9 months of operation. In Maiduguri, Zainab Adam, NTA News.
Towards addressing alarming rate of rape of minors in Borno State, Overseeing Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General Barrister Hawa Abubakar has met with country representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs, Oliver Thorpe, and Deputy Head of Italian Embassy in Nigeria, Terex Chazil, to strategize on containing the menace. The meeting provided an opportunity to forge stronger partnership between the UN Office on Drugs and the Borno State government on tackling the inherent social problem. Maimuna Gerber reports.
Gender-based violence, especially rape of minors, has been a recurrent social ill in Borno State that peaked during the Boko Haram insurgency and remains a worrying crime to date. The Borno State Overseeing Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Hawa Abubakar, disclosed that the number of rape cases, especially on minors, is alarming as it constitutes 80% of the cases being presented to the ministry. To this end, the Attorney General advocated the need for all to address the menace, saying there should be a vigorous enlightenment exercise to awaken the public on the prevalence of the gender-based violence.
Rape on minors. Minors as young as 2 years old. It's sad. Have this huge concern. But what do we do about it?
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Justice, Barrister Musa Chibok, noted that the state government is making frantic efforts to amend some of the rape laws to provide steeper penalty commensurate with the offense. This, according to him, will serve as deterrent to those who repeatedly commit the crime. The country representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes, Oliver Thorpe, and the deputy head of the Italian Embassy, Tarek Chazil, said they were at the office of the State Attorney General to rub minds on certain issues within the mandate. The interaction, according to them, has provided insight into the understanding areas of collaboration, assuring to support the ministry, especially on the critical and very disturbing issues of gender-based violence brought forth by the Attorney General. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from here. It's back to you, Olajide, for more Nationwide.
Many thanks, Ladidi. And now to climate matters. 9 riverine local government areas in Kogi State are ravaged yearly by extreme flooding. The phenomenon has become an avenue for farmers, particularly rice farmers around and within Kabawa community and Lokaji Township, to make use of the nearness to the floodplains. Correspondent Jacob Sani reports.
The 2022 flood disaster, which lasted for months in Kogi State, damaged countless properties and sources of livelihood, forcing many to vacate their homes. In the aftermath of the flood came debris that typically form sealed alluvial soil, which is beneficial for the growth of arable crops, especially those with shallow roads.
If we see the flood water, it is muddy and cloudy. So when the water is receding, it is depositing all these things on the land. That is what makes it to be so fertile, and it can support crops that can grow within 2 months or 3 months maximum.
The farmers have been waiting patiently to use the deposit to plant rice after the flood, as the area becomes a plain. Although this particular system of farming is challenging due to difficulties in assessing farming input requirements.
We started this farming far back as, let's say, 12 years now. As we're into full rice farming here.
Dry season, you will work a lot. But rainy season, sometimes rain will fall, sometimes rain will fall. You will put engine. But to work well, to the rice to good dry season farm, it's more than rainy season farm.
After the harvesting, we see a little money that we take the feed family to progress ourselves. We can get a little money to establish our small business that we are doing.
We harvest the rice, we enjoy ourselves, we get money, we plan ahead.
Encouraging these farmers through the provision of necessary interventions and support from government will enhance dry season farming and also serve as a source of economic empowerment to the state. Jacob Sani, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, and the Nigerian Customs Service have signed a memorandum of understanding on intelligence sharing in the fight against drug trafficking and smuggling. Abdulmalik Hassan reports that the two agencies also promise to strengthen operations in land and sea borders.
Just a black and white document, but comes with strength to ensure the Nigeria's airport, seaports, as well the land borders are well protected against smuggling of illicit drugs and substances. The Nigerian Customs Service has been involved in the seizure of illicit drugs and has a long-standing synergy with the NDLEA. Today, the quest for more intelligence sharing and the zeal to fight the organized crime is strengthened.
The MOU being signed today is of great significance in many respects. This will provide an effective defense line at our various ports of entry and exit to prevent the influx of offensive materials and substances that undermine our national security and ensure that our national assets are not smuggled out to undermine our economic progress and stability.
Then comes a strong assurance from the customs boss, whose commitment is to ensure success of the memo.
We are willing and ready to ensure that we protect our borders from illicit trafficking of drugs.
With this comes tougher days for drug peddlers. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
Now, Holy Week or Passion Week is the final week in the lengthened period which provides the opportunity for Christians to recall the events leading to the crucifixion, death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Ifeoma Ajinta in this report tells us more on the significance of the Holy Week.
The Holy Week provides the opportunity for Christians to recall, reflect and possibly reenact the sufferings of Jesus Christ while on earth.
It is one of the holiest of weeks because this is the week that God made man, became a sacrificial lamb for us to have life in abundance, where he underwent suffering and pain only for us to have life through his resurrection on Easter Sunday.
There are 5 special days in the Holy Week, which begins with Palm Sunday, usually observed the Sunday before Easter. This day signifies Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem. Then the Holy or Maundy Thursday, which is the day of the Last Supper, a day of great humility when Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. The Holy Thursday is also the day Jesus was arrested, leading to his sufferings, crucifixion and death on Good Friday. Holy Saturday, it is usually a day of quiet and prayerful reflection of the gravity of the crucifixion. Easter Sunday climaxes the celebration in Christendom as it completes the Holy Week that ends with the resurrection, signifying the victory of good over evil. Christians are encouraged to observe the Holy Week with intensified prayer and fasting, as well as almsgiving, which should be done soberly. Ifoma Ojinta, NTA News.
One of the sublime features of the Ramadan fast is the injunction to feed a fasting Muslim. This noble practice of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has been demonstrated by the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, which has been feeding more than 2,000 people daily in the holy month. Abdullahi Ajia captured what happens on a daily basis at the center.
Generosity is a virtue encouraged in the holy month of Ramadan, with so much spiritual and social benefits. This gesture of feeding the fasting Muslims, especially the less privileged, has become a yearly tradition of the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society. More interesting is the increasing number of beneficiaries who have access to free break of fast.
A lot of people are collecting food. Sometimes you feel wake up, you don't get money. So when we come here, we are really appreciating.
Sincerely speaking, what they are doing here is social justice, and it is helping the poor.
It's actually very beautiful because it's not everyone that gets the opportunity to have iftar. So most people come here every day to have their iftar for free.
Notwithstanding the economic and cash reality preceding this year's Ramadan season, the managers of the food bank say Allah's mercy has been sufficient and instrumental to taking care of the overwhelming number of people who trunch the center.
Year in, year out, we are able to feed as much as we can, just like you have witnessed today. Yes, me as a person, in my own opinion, the smile I see on the people when they walk out quietly, peacefully, as they depart our location, that is my greatest excitement.
This year, when we started with 1,100, it didn't, meet up the target. So we are placed under pressure. The next day, we had to go to 1,800. And since then, we've reached over 2,000 feet per day.
What readily comes to mind is the issue of sustainability of the program. The missioner, Imam Fuad Adeyemi, speaks.
Al-Habibiyya is extremely diversifying now. We are going into so many economic and business things that will bring money, so that even before anybody comes, Al-Habibiyya will have gotten enough strength to start the program.
For both the managers and beneficiaries, the feeding program is creating a social safety net, particularly for the downtrodden, while maximizing Allah's benevolent mercy and rewards as a promise for such venture. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide. But before we go, a quick reminder that a census is 29 days to go. You can't be counted. I am Olajide Bello.